Hi guys, Renee Pizzata here, acting my age. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe and come back every Wednesday for a new episode. This week, I'm sitting down with actor Matt Cwern, and we're going to talk about his journey and how he's making it out here in Los Angeles as an actor. You may not know his name off the top of your head, but I guarantee you've seen him in something. This guy works a lot.
Hollywood Palm's been evacuated. All members of the 118 are safe and accounted for.
Thank you.
Hands behind your head. Hands behind your head. This guy jumped me and he could have killed me, but he let me go. Why would he do that?
Way to jack up your prices, Abdul. What the hell?
Take it easy, Edgar.
Why? I didn't do nothing.
No, you did a lot.
Matt!
Hey, Renee!
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
For sitting
me.
down and having a chat with me.
It's a pleasure. It's a very comfortable room.
Oh,
Comfortable chairs.
Nice.
First time I'm trying these flavored waters. Hint.
Yes.
Hint,
I love
blood orange.
I love when people promote Hint.
No,
One day they will sponsor me.
It's great. I'm not a big soda drinker, so flavored water is right up my alley.
All right, let's talk about you.
Yes, me.
And your
oh
journey.
boy. Okay.
So, tell me about, how do you pronounce your last name?
Cwern.
Cwern.
Yeah, it's Polish.
It is almost exactly as it looks.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Matt Cwern.
The C is pronounced like an S. Matt Cwern.
But you never know, when people have like C's and W's together, you're like, are one of them silent? Is it,
People sneak in H's,
Yeah.
Z's. They make the E and I. I mean, there's been all kind of variations over
Yeah.
the years, which is why originally I didn't go with it. I went with my middle name. Until I realized, no, I take a lot of pride in who I am, where I'm
Absolutely.
from. I want to bring that name back into my actor profile.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I stuck with Pizzata. I was, when Renee Zellweger made it, I was like, okay, Renee with a long, weird last name can
It's
do
a
it.
great name. It's a great name because, I mean, it's Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're looking for real Italians, people with the last name Pizzata are going to get called in.
Stand out.
I noticed after I made my name back to Cwern, I started getting in called more for Eastern European roles, believe it or not. Because people, I don't think you could look at Cwern and know what country it's from,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people could say, oh, it's a bunch of consonants, it's Eastern European.
Yeah, yeah.
The MacGyver that I just did, they were looking for a Czech actor. I'm not Czech, but they're like, Cwern, that sounds Eastern European.
Passer sent me to meet with some guy who had something for him. I came for the meet. But when the guy saw it was just me, he got pissed. Thought he was meeting the boss face to face. But that just doesn't happen. Boss doesn't meet with anyone he doesn't know.
So where's your boss?
Did you have to learn Czech?
I did.
Ooh.
I did. I had to learn one line in Czech. But for the audition, since I didn't know Czech, I did a short film a couple years ago. Good to do those short films sometimes. You don't know what skills you're going to pick up. And I would play a Serbian. And I had to learn two lines in Serbian. And whenever I have to learn a language for a role, I never forget it. So in the MacGyver audition, instead of Czech, I spoke Serbian. And I booked the job.
They didn't know the difference.
They didn't know, but then once I booked it, they sent me an MP3 file. They said, these are the actual lines that we want you to say. It's in Czech and blah, blah, we think you could learn it. You'll be fine.
And you do a lot of voiceover work, don't you?
I do. I originally started out in just doing commercials, but because the voiceover industry and the landscape has changed so much, the more things you can do, the more work you can get. So I worked on accents and dialects. Post 9/11, I mean, I hate to say this, but people were telling me, there's going to be a lot of work for Middle Eastern actors. There's going to be a lot of terrorist roles and stuff. You should start learning them because you look at those, and I did. And I played those parts sometimes.
And how do you feel about that? Because I mean, a lot of actors, I don't feel this way. I'm like, put me in a box. I'm perfectly okay with that. You know what I mean? If you want me to be your nurse 17,000 times, I will do it.
Yeah, totally.
Do you feel that same way? Do you feel like a job is a job and every opportunity opportunity to act is an opportunity to
You know,
act.
I do. When early on in my career, I was typecast, and I tried to get out of that mold. I was in the fire department, and my early roles I could only get were EMT roles because I was in New York. Soap operas were looking for real EMTs to play EMT. And you could ask, well, why wouldn't they just hire a real actor and teach them? Well, because they don't have time.
Yeah, totally.
A soap opera shoots one episode every single day, and they don't have time to teach someone how to use a stretcher. So they'd rather hire actors that are the real deal, so they don't have to, these actors know how to use stretchers, how to hang IV bags.
Sure.
If they have to bounce ideas off of them to be like a medical consultant, they could do that too. So I was only playing EMTs for a while. And that, I would have been fine if that's going to be my career. Working is working, but I knew that I was capable of more, and I didn't only want to be an EMT. So at some point, maybe the way I was, taking headshots, somehow it just changed. They started seeing me more as the bad guy, as the loser. Not the bad guy that runs the multi-million-dollar company, maybe like the henchman who works for the guy who runs the multi-million-dollar company. Yeah. And one can say that is typecast, but you know what? Cast is cast. Yeah. And that I'm okay with.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I do get frustrated myself with, there are a couple of, I love all the casting offices, first of all, let me just say that. There's one casting office that has brought me in several times. I've booked 2 of their shows. Uh-huh. But you can see in the breakdowns, they'll have guest star roles, and they'll say, guest star actors only. Do not submit co-star actors. Yeah. Co-star roles, to me, are way harder than guest star roles.
I'm reading Michael Caine's book right now, Blowing the Bloody Doors Off. Yeah. Phenomenal book. Yeah. I just read his chapter on how smaller roles are harder.
Oh, so hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to bring everything behind it. You know what I mean? There's no, and yet you can't show any of it. Yeah. So you're literally, sometimes you feel like you're just parroting lines. And then other times it's like, if you want to make it creative for yourself, it's all internalized.
You have to create all kinds of motivation that isn't necessarily evident.
Yeah.
It's all
and
no
your
own
one cares.
Backstory. And that's the other thing. No one really cares.
Yeah.
You have 1 or 2 lines. One of them doesn't come out right. That's it. You have one other line to say, and that's it. When you have a much bigger part, a line here, a line there you might not deliver it like you like it, but you have all this other stuff to build on.
Absolutely.
With your little small role, you got your little small role, and then you just leave, and that's it.
Yeah.
I got involved in the LA theater scene that a lot of people who don't work gave me flack for. Why would you do LA theaters? Well, because it's rewarding as hell. Yes. And from when you start rehearsing until the end of the performance, that could be a 3-month process. You're rehearsing for 2 months, and then you run for 6 weeks. All that time now, at least every single week, you get to act. And you don't just get to act and come in and do a co-star and live a line. You live a whole life for 2 hours. Those arcs that we were talking about with guest stars, that's what you get to do. Yeah. And I did one play, and then I got into Shakespeare, and that made me realize, ooh, Shakespeare, because I didn't have any classical training. Shakespeare, that's a lot of fun. And then I started working more in television, because television auditions became so much easier after learning Shakespeare.
Totally.
Oh my God, oh my God, I wish I learned this younger. But you know what? You gotta do those things whenever you're ready. Absolutely. I wasn't ready when I was younger. I was just not in the right frame of mind. And now I am. So I always looking for learning something new.
So you mentioned you were reading a Michael Caine book.
Yeah.
I like to get people to bring in quotes. I don't do it every time, but this time you happen to have one, and it happened to be from Michael Caine.
Someone once asked me the secret of my success, and my answer was survival. I'm still here. I'm still going, even if sometimes I'm going through hell. In the end, success is survival. And he's not the first person that I heard say that.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was famously quoted as saying something along those lines, and I think it was Vin Diesel that asked him. The story goes Vin Diesel was like an extra on a Harrison Ford movie. Went up to Harrison, Mr. Ford, I'm a new actor, I was wondering if you have any advice. And Harrison Ford was just saying, I came to LA with 20 other friends. 5 years later, there were 15 friends. And 10 years later, there were 10 friends. And 20 years later, it was just me. And that was it. Yeah. And it just made, sometimes you just gotta withstand the test of time. Yeah. You just gotta stay in it. You gotta survive.
That's it for this episode. If you like what you saw, give it thumbs up, leave a comment, and be sure and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Renee Pizzata, acting my age.